United States, a prime market for India, went down 37.5% in a span of just 4 months, from 8.8 billion US dollars in May 2025 to $5.5 billion in September. The progress of exports of the last several years had in a way been reversed. But viewers, something unexpected has happened. It appears that for India, the US is not anymore the only game in town. Modi government has been thinking on its feet and planning a counter-tariff strategy that has begun to show results. Yes, viewers, so much so that even the IMF has sat up and noticed. The IMF, in fact, has upped India's growth prospects in its WEO for 2025. It says India is going to grow at 6.6% in FY26, up from 6.5% in FY25. Trump thought that India's leadership would crawl to him and surrender. His aides have said as much. Didn't he say that India was a dead economy and that it would come to its senses sooner than later? Wasn't this lapped up by our own leaders? But the Modi government clearly had other ideas, viewers. Different ones. We said we're not going to be dealing with the United States with a gun to our heads. Listen to this, viewers.
We are talking to the United States, of course, but we don't do deals in a hurry, and we don't do deals with deadlines or with a gun on our head. India looks long-term. India never takes decisions in a rush or on the pressure of the moment. And we've accepted if there's a tariff on us, there is a tariff on us. We are looking how to overcome that. We are looking at newer markets. We are looking at a stronger demand impetus within the Indian economy. So we have a very resilient structure.
We're looking at newer markets. Well, viewers, the good news is that India has diversified its trade. And how? We found new markets, proving that our manufacturing is world-class and our products are competitive globally, which is why we've been able to guardrail sectors that were thought to be most exposed to US sanctions. In fact, the UNCTAD, in fact, says India is only the second least exposed economy to US tariff tyranny, globally, viewers, after Japan. And all of this has happened because, viewers, we have found new places to sell. We've diversified away from the United States. The figures are telling you the story. Exports are up 6.7% year on year. As share of exports in non-US markets are up 10.9% year on year. Export growth of 9% in Q2 of FY26 versus 7% decline in Q2 of FY25. Viewers, we've tapped new markets, Spain, UAE, China and Bangladesh among 24 countries. CRISIL says that non-US exports are up 10.9% YOY. UNCTAD says that at 34.4, India is second least exposed to US tariffs after Japan. Elara Capital says rice shipments have grown 33.2% to 924.8 million US dollars. Export of electronics has gone up 50.5% year on year. Seafood product exports have increased by 23.4% to US $781 million. Shipped cotton exports have increased by over 33%. Exports of gems and jewelry rose by 0.4% year on year in September. Of course, viewers, it is unwise to toot one's own horn. It is unwise to think that we are out of the woods. But certain things are now becoming clear and apparent. With India creating elbow room at the negotiation table, Trump is fast losing leverage over India. India has a major trade deal on the cards with the EU, which potentially gives our goods access to a very, very rich market. India can now stall on US expectations. It need not cede its strategic trade autonomy or sovereignty. Modi has for now, some would argue, trumped both Donald and doubters. Many will caution against overconfidence, and they're right. On this show, we will also ask viewers, what are the unaccounted X factors that can upset the apple cart as we go forward? Let's open this up, viewers. It's a very interesting conversation. Let's have one in the spirit of transparency and, most importantly, viewers, of critical assessment. And I want to begin with Mr. Rajiv Desai. He's a businessman. He's been an advisor to the UPA government. He's an author. He wears many caps, hats, call it what you want. So I'm going to ask you, Mr. Desai, look, it was looking problematic when Trump announced all those tariffs, but you'd have to give the government, and I've just put out the figures, government for actually preempting, diversifying, and it's been done so quickly. Would you agree?
Well, I don't have the data, so I cannot agree or disagree. But I'll tell you this, it's not a joke, to take on, never mind Donald Trump or anything, it's not a joke to take on the entire United States government because of the influence they wield over so many markets in so many places, including within India. So I think the wise thing to do, which is what you're saying, that you should stop tooting your horn and take a look at how successful this diversification is. I haven't heard anything about how the diversification has worked so far. All I know is that there have been a lot of full stops from people I know in the US who do business with India, that people are hesitant anymore to do deals or to look at prospects in India. So that needs to be dealt with rather than be sort of complacent and say we've done it and all of that. I think you need to take a sort of deeper look at this and say, how do we sort of allay the fears of India being branded by this as a sort of an unfair trader or an unreliable partner.
Okay, so let me bring in Mr. Bagga. He's a market expert, specializes in the commodities sector, etc. Mr. Bagga, these figures suggest that India has found alternatives. I'm not saying that, we've completely replaced the United States, so I'm not dealing in hyperbole. But certainly, we've been able to demonstrate that our goods and services are very marketable in other economies, and the government seems to have largely, and UNCTAD has come out with the facts and says that we are only the second least exposed now to US sanctions. That's not bad going for a country that was written off by many internally also.
Yeah, Rahul, three very big points stand out. When in the Trump administration one, when they levied the tariffs on China, Global Times carried out front page articles for 3 months, rolling out 35 sectors in which they were heavily reliant on the US trade. And China went after it hammer and tongs for the next 7 years, so much so that you saw how Xi Jinping stood up to Trump yesterday. And the way China has been able to take on its biggest trade partner. I think India has a lot of lessons. I would totally agree that we don't need to make too much noise, and that's what the government has done. It's been back channel talks. We have been very polite, very gracious in public, and we have kept up the relations. It's the biggest consumer market. It's the biggest military in the world, and it's a Western democratic values ethos that the US represents. We are all for it. But we don't also want to be pushovers. I think that message has to go very clearly. Second, if you look at the numbers, up to September, the numbers are out. We have lost some market share in the US, so our exports to the US have gone down, but our overall exports went up.
How did that happen?
New markets. We have gone to new geographies. the same exports have got directed to other markets. Secondly, I think a lot of transshipment is happening. If you look at our textile majors, for example, Rahul, 4.5 crore people work in textiles in India. We have a natural advantage, both labor cost as well as being a huge cotton growing nation. We have a lot of natural advantages in textiles. A lot of our big textile companies now have bases in Guatemala, in Dubai, in London, and goods are being shipped from there. So I think transshipment as well as directing the goods through to other markets. If you look at China, for example, and this is a global move, so Trump has done a big favor to the world because it's a huge wake-up call. I would say our policy should be not more than 15% of our exports at any time should be exposed to the US. So I agree with Mr. Desai that you have to be careful. Less noise, I think that's what the government has done. And if you look at China, their US exports have plummeted, but their overall exports are up. Their exports to Africa are up 50%. It's not that Africans have started consuming Chinese goods more, it's transshipment which is happening. So Chinese goods or Chinese factories making stuff in Africa and shipping to the US. If you look at Korea and Japan, which are still very high-tech, their exports to the US went down, but their overall exports have gone up. So the world is learning, Rahul, how to tackle this, and Trump has really done a big benefit to the entire world, and especially for India. For us, it's a wake-up call. Don't be more than 15% exposed to the US at any time.
But to take advantage, of course, you need to have a huge amount of, I suppose, at one level, acumen, tactical acumen, Dr. Ranganathan, foresight, and of course, a determination to not see this as a limitation, but as an opportunity, which, would you agree, I'm asking you an open question, would you agree that the Modi government seems to have got its ducks in a row?
Yes, Rahul, absolutely and emphatically on two counts. Number one, I think we realized very early that as the adage goes, what cannot be cured must be endured. So Mr. Modi has realized that Trump cannot be cured, he has to be endured. What do we do then? Do we succumb to a bully? And the answer is a little bit more nuanced. We haven't succumbed to the bully at all. If you look at before the sanctioning of the two Russian oil majors, we were actually buying almost 40% of our oil imports from Russia. And this was despite 2 months having gone by when Trump said, do not buy any Russian oil. In fact, we were buying more Russian oil in September. Now, ironically, when Trump has put sanctions on the Russian oil companies, you saw from that clip, in fact, if you were to play the extended clip of the brilliant Mr. Piyush, you would realize that he exposed ruthlessly hypocrisy of the Western leaders. I think the UK trade minister was sitting next to him. And even though the sanctions have been slapped on the two Russian oil majors, Germany and UK have got exemptions from Trump. So look at the hypocrisy. Trump slapped us 25% extra tariffs on account of us buying Russian oil when EU was buying more Russian oil and energy than us. China was buying, Trump did not slap on them. And B, now that he's slapped sanctions on two Russian oil majors, Germany and UK will continue to buy refined oil from their local subsidiaries, violating basically exposing the hypocrisy. Number one. Number two, the data tells you that 9.5% of our total exports, yearly exports, are affected by the Trump tariffs. Now, what do we do about it? We have gone about it brilliantly. We have diversified. If you were to look beyond diversification, you look at also not just we're doing in the immediate aftermath, we are prepared for the next year or couple of years. In the last 1.5 months alone, 4 India, other countries, other bloc treaties have kicked in, including Switzerland, EFTA, including the UK one that's going to kick in now, including with Oman, and one with Australia is in the offing. That augurs well for our diversification basket. So yes, you're absolutely right. The way this government has managed, absolutely hats off to them.
Okay. Dr. Raman, Trump now is praising Modi. Last few days, Trump has changed his tone, his tune, suggesting that he realizes that India has insulated itself. Dr. Ranganathan, Mr. Bagga, and the headlines of various newspapers are proclaiming this, and therefore is not exposed to the US, so threats perhaps won't work. And this whole business of dead economy, it's dead wrong, really, isn't it?
Dead economy is dead wrong, but Rahul, I think that there is no two opinions that we need a deal. Most of the world has made a deal. We too need to make a deal. There are multiple sectors that are hurting, and we cannot get carried away by 1 month's data. And that also partly, one of the reasons for the export staying in positive territory could be the depreciation of the rupee. The rupee, according to the Engineering Export Promotion Council of India, depreciated nearly 5% in September compared to September 24. So I think that you have to keep this whole thing in a proper perspective and not get carried away. So 9% fall, particularly some sectors. I come from the state of Tamil Nadu, where Tirupur is hurting badly. Thousands of workers have been asked to go back home, and factories have been shut. Likewise, automobile sector again is one sector that has been hit. So I think that we cannot just look at 1 month's data. That also the very first month. It's not a sustained period of time to sort of jump the gun and say that we've beaten the US tariffs and our economy does not need a deal. We need a deal. Most of the world is not stupid.
Okay.
I mean, to say that we are the only, yes, I agree, we cannot kowtow or bow to Trump on whatever he says. But at some point, we will need to make a deal. The whole world, and the rumor is even the Chinese are very close to a deal. I mean, perhaps it didn't happen yesterday, but it's pretty close to a deal. And if that happens, then we'll be the only major economy which is sort of in limbo.
Okay, Dr. Ranganathan wants to come in on this point. Yes.
I think Dr. Raman is right, but can I just also throw in a caveat, couple of caveats, in fact. Number one, I think we've realized quite nicely, realistically, that we are not China yet. Look, when Trump also slapped tariffs equaling 150% on China, China reciprocated. And Trump, brought those tariffs down. We, even though we were unfairly treated by Trump on account of the oil tariffs, we did not reciprocate because we realized we're simply not in a situation. So yes, Dr. Raman is right. We realize more than any other country that we need to keep on trading with America. But I also want to get this, maybe extract this from Dr. Raman, that Dr. Raman, all said and done, our self-respect is also something. When you know that America and Trump have unfairly slapped us with those oil tariffs, how long and how much should we go and negotiate or keep on negotiating that will go against our self-respect is what I want from you.
My quick point. Look, there are two ways of looking at this. One, what about the rest of the world? What about the European Union? What about most other countries? What about Japan? What about Korea? All of them were slapped with tariffs. All of them. Not all of those tariffs were fair. Not all of those tariffs were just. But they still went ahead and did a deal.
Okay, now, so let me ask.
The opposition stood with them.
One second. No, forget all that. I just want to bring in Mr. Bagga.
With the government.
Just forget that. One second. It's an important point that Dr. Raman is also making, prompted by Dr. Ranganathan. I think we've narrowed it down, and I want to quickly bring in Mr. Bagga's expertise on this. Mr. Bagga, were those deals that have been struck with some of the other Asian so-called tigers, were they intrinsically fair deals? And when we say we need a deal, do we need it urgently? Can you give us a side idea? I have about 1 minute, that's all. Yeah.
Okay, Rahul. I'll give you a very basic answer. $40 billion of trade is at risk. Out of that $87 billion, 40 comes under this. 40 is about 1% of our GDP that goes at risk. How much of that will we lose? How much of that will we be able to send elsewhere or domestically consume? With this GST cut, the government has tried to address that as well. So one is that. Second, are the deals fair? No. Australia had a FTA with US of 0%. They have been levied a tariff. Korea, which had an FTA running with the US, is paying 19% tariffs for anything it exports and 0% for the US. Same with Japan. The so-called Iron Lady, Shinzo Abe's protege, tells Trump that I'm going to nominate you for the Nobel Peace Prize. So the world is going into adulation. I think the Prime Minister has done well by not engaging in public with him, because we are not Pakistan. We are not that kind of a country. We represent $1.4 billion. I think Xi Jinping did very well yesterday, but China is in a different... Only thing I'll say, Rahul, 2007, China was $4 trillion. Today they are sitting at 20 trillion.
That is true. We've got to pull our socks up very quickly. Dr. Ranganathan, yes, 10 seconds, I got to wrap up. Yes.
Yes, you please remember that the more you genuflect towards a bully, the more he becomes a bully. Look at Canada. They were going very well with trade, and Trump didn't like a video, and he slapped additional 10% tariff.
So there is no urgency. There is a need. I think we all recognize that. We can't jeopardize our relationship. I think all of us agree on that point. Viewers, I leave it at this. It's been enlightening. Viewers, as you know, it is said that merit has no place in the Congress party. That Congress is elementally against the principle of merit. Now, to many, this sounds like an accusation. But is it really unfounded? Especially when one considers what is going down in Telangana. There the Congress, faced with a tough by-election in the Jubilee Hills constituency, has pulled Mohammad Azharuddin, you remember him, viewers? Straight out of hibernation, and handed him a cabinet berth. There you can see him in the middle of your screens taking oath, viewers. He's even dusted off his sherwani and come. The man has accepted and is thanking the Gandhis and the state chief minister Revanth Reddy for orchestrating his biggest comeback ever against the run of form, to use a cricket metaphor. Azharuddin, after all, wasn't even considered fit by the Congress till recently to win an election. And I'm just talking about a few years ago. Moreover, he is embroiled in an alleged scam. He hasn't still got a clean chit from the courts. But viewers, Azharuddin has come out and thanked his saviors, so to speak, the people who still believe in him. He says, I thank the party's high command, the public and my supporters. This has nothing to do with the Jubilee by-election. Whatever responsibility I am given, I will work honestly. I will work for the uplift of the oppressed people. Viewers, he's thanking the people, but the people have no say in his being appointed a minister. It's not as if, viewers, the people have voted him in. He's not elected. Anyhow, listen in.
मेरे को बहुत अच्छा लगा। मैं बहुत अपने हाईकमांड का बहुत शुक्रिया अदा करता हूँ, खारगे जी का और राहुल गांधी साहब का, सोनिया मैडम का, प्रियंका मैडम का, अपने महेश गौड़ साहब का, मीनाक्षी मैडम का और विश्वनाथ सर का, और जितने भी कैबिनेट मिनिस्टर्स और जितने भी लोग जुबली हिल्स के, पूरे इंडिया के जितने भी लोग मेरे सपोर्टर्स हैं और मेरे को चाहते हैं, मैं सब लोग का शुक्रिया अदा करता हूँ.
Viewers, he is thanking the public as if he's just won a mandate from them. But do you know that he was in retirement almost? So why was he picked? There are many theories, but the opposition in the state has settled on appeasement. The BJP says the proposal to give cabinet berth to Mohammad Azharuddin is nothing but an attempt to woo and garner the votes of a section of the voters in the upcoming Jubilee Hills by-election, a gross violation of the Model Code of Conduct. The Congress has dismissed the BJP's attack and is example of its anti-Muslim bias. Is the criticism on both sides justified? Well, consider the facts, viewers. Let's just go by the facts. The timing of the selection coincides with the upcoming Jubilee Hills by-election. And viewers, you all know that this particular selection will be noticed in Bihar. Just recently, the MGB was accused by a large number of Muslims of reneging on their promise to give them a berth if they were to come to power. Specifically, they wondered why no Muslim was chosen as the deputy chief ministerial candidate of the Mahagathbandhan. The same questions have been asked by the minority community in Telangana. as it has been complaining about the lack of representation in the cabinet. Rahul Gandhi has been constantly talking about jitni abadi utna haq. So they say that look, if you have 12 or 13 cabinet ministers, you must at least have 2 from the minority community, because we are at roughly 18 to 20% of the population. Viewers, but as you know, till today, till moments back, before Azharuddin was named as a cabinet minister, there was not one Muslim in cabinet. Azharuddin is not currently a member of either the assembly or the state legislative council, viewers. He's come completely in from the cold. Azhar lost in 2014 Lok Sabha from Cong, Savai Madhopur parliamentary constituency in Rajasthan, and he completely went into hibernation. He then tried to use his credentials, play the Muslim card, and get a ticket in 2019 from Sikandrabad and Hyderabad, but he was denied that by the Congress. They didn't think he was fit enough to contest because they thought that he wouldn't be able to stand against someone like Owaisi and others. Azhar was booked in a criminal case for allegedly misappropriating 3.85 crores from the Hyderabad Cricket Association, and that put paid really to any hope of a comeback. Azhar was banned for life, if you remember, from cricket in 2000 by the BCCI over match-fixing allegations, which was cleared by the Andhra Pradesh High Court in 2012. So is Congress' decision really about merit, given all the facts that I've put before you, including the taint, the question of taint that lingers over Azharuddin? Capability, is it about that? Or is it just appeasement dressed up as opportunity? Has the Congress chosen optics over outcomes once again? Wouldn't it have been better to promote a sitting MLA and grant him or her the opportunity to deliver for the people? Will Azhar, who has got a handout, respect his post? These are the big questions, viewers, and let's ask them. Let me go straight across to the Akashdeep Muni, professor, who is speaking for the Congress today. Professor Muni, what is going on in the Congress party? A person is crediting the public when they haven't got any say in this selection. He's been picked out of the cold. The party itself didn't think he could win an election, so never gave him a ticket all these years. Suddenly he's become a cabinet minister. Why?
See, Rahulji, your presumption that Azharuddin is politically not meritorious is totally wrong.
Okay.
He has long party role as working president, Telangana Pradesh Congress Committee. He served as a member of parliament from Muradabad from 2009 to 2014. Even he was nominated to Telangana Legislative Council under the governor's quota. So Azharuddin held numerous headships like Hyderabad Cricket Association headship. So he is meritorious. Now, why a Muslim has been inducted?
Why did he lose in Muradabad?
Many people lose. Many people lose.
No, I'm asking you, why did he lose? Why was he never given a ticket again?
See, many people lose.
I'm asking you, sir, if he is such a bankable candidate. No, Professor Muni, see, you invoked his credentials. I didn't. I only gave a history, but you used those to defend his eligibility. So I'm asking you, Professor Muni, simple question. He lost, fair enough, people do lose, but they usually get a second chance. Specifically if they've served, as you say, the party in such senior posts and so forth. But he was denied by the party himself in 2019 and recently in the last by-election, in the assembly election. And even now, he's not been given a ticket.
I'll answer you. Did you ask the same questions when 6 of the candidates
Now
did not
what
get
about
Delhi?
Now what about
It's not what about
No, I'm asking you.
You did ask that
Muni,
question, no?
Professor Muni, one second.
Listen
I'm
to
asking
me.
you a very specific question here.
I'm answering a specific question. Now, your question is that why a Muslim is inducted.
I'm not asking that question. Have I said that?
Said that in the initial part.
No, I haven't. I've quoted the Bharatiya Janata Party. I am just talking about merit. Excuse me, sir. I'm talking about merit, and I've only said one of the objections that was raised. Yeah, get your facts right. One of the objections that was raised was that he was a Muslim, and again the Congress is back to appeasement politics and so forth. I was only talking about merit. I'm keeping this very above identity. I'm talking about merit.
Sir, please, now you have asked a question. Kindly give me uninterrupted 20 seconds. Then you can interrupt.
So take 3.
Now, Sure, thank you. When you say that why he has been inducted in the cabinet, he has been inducted to suffice to a particular community. Did you raise the question when Jitan Ram Machi was appointed as Minister of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises to bolster Dalit outreach in Bihar for Bharatiya Janata Party? Were you also quiet and conducted a debate when George Kurian was inducted as Minister of State for Minority Affairs to expand BJP's appeal amongst Christians in Kerala following the BJP's first ever Lok Sabha win there in 2024? Even Mom, when Hardeep Singh Puri was retained as Minister of Petroleum and Natural Gas to represent the Sikh community, a strategic nod to Punjab's minority dynamics. Remember Nitin Gadkari, there was number of questions asked regarding the road infrastructure in this country. Still, he was appointed as Minister of Road Transport and Highways in 2019 to reassure Brahmin community in Maharashtra and Uttar Pradesh, which has expressed reservations over state leadership choices. So when it comes to the BJP, we see a mum media, but when it comes to the Congress, we see a boisterous. Talking about Azharuddin, there are many seats that people lose.
Fair
And
enough.
many seats there.
Let me ask. You see, viewers, the Congress has become an expert at trying to shoot the messenger. The question was of eligibility. Have I held him ineligible for contesting an election? No, viewers. By all means, give him a ticket. But the Congress hasn't given him a ticket. The people that he's referred to, at least two of them have won elections. And they have come in on the public support. Here, Azharuddin is congratulating the people. When the people have had no say, they're probably bemused. Are there no other leaders from the minority community in the Telangana Congress that could have, young leaders that could have been promoted to the rank of a cabinet minister in the state and asked to prove themselves? That's a question, viewers. Let me ask Mr. Krishank Mane and Mr. Srinivas. First, Mr. Srinivas, because his party has raised the issue of also Mr. Azharuddin's religion. You're making it communal, says the Congress.
Thank you, Rahul. It's a pleasure always to be on your debate. I was reading Raj Dungarpur's one statement when Mia, Captain Manoge, a long time ago, when he took the reins of the captaincy of Indian cricket team. Now it looks like the Honorable CM of Telangana, he must have said, Mia, bat up kar lo, 1 down jana hai. Match bahut hi low scoring hone wala hai. See, I'll tell you why. There are two things here. Revanth Reddy ji wants to hit with one stone many birds. For example, he is thinking pure mathematics. 3,99,000 is our total now registered voters now. Out of that, 30% is the Muslim voters. Now he is thinking that he wants to have en bloc this one, and he is also eyeing the GHMC elections which are going to come out of few months. These are the two things which he wants to do, and plus in Bihar also they want to show that yes, देखो हमने तो अपना बात कर दिया, जिसकी जितनी आबादी उतने हमने अब दे रहे हैं, आपको देखो रिप्रेजेंटेटिव सबसे बड़ा नामचीन आदमी. This is what they are trying to say, but it's pure mathematics, because Revanth Reddy has lost his sleeve because of one of the things which he has done called Hydra. Because in entire urban area, the voting pattern is such at a low level, that is, last time it was 47%. Now if it goes below 45%, it will be a direct contest between BRS and BJP. It's a two corner fight.
So let me
right
ask,
now it's a 3-corner fight.
Okay, let me ask Mr. Mane. He's joining us. He's a very erudite spokesperson of the BRS. You are suddenly on the same page as the BJP on this. Explain yourself. The Congress says there is some sort of a fixed match here.
Well, absolutely not. We are very clear regarding this. Our straight question here is the timing. Rahul, let me tell you the blunders and the panic mode out of desperation what Congress is doing. 24 hours before the election code is announced, they announce a Muslim graveyard at the Alkapuri colony. And immediately within hours, you see the army authorities enter there and they say, no, this is not your land, this is our land, number one. And now out of that mistake to damage control, immediately within few hours again they shift the base to Erragadda. They try to demolish one road. Again the colony residents go to the court, and then there's a stay order on that, and then you have the election court. Now there is difficulty for the Congress to claim votes of the Muslims, 1.5 lakh votes, which is a deciding factor. Now there is one more issue of one activist here in Borabanda, which is in Jubilee Hills, who's been died because of a Congress corporator, and same Azharuddin, the same Congress candidate, Naveen, these all went to the residents and promised justice, which has not been delivered. So there is totally a boomerang in the Muslim community where the Congress is unable to get any votes. Now, 8 days from now, the election campaign concludes. So what could Congress government do? Azharuddin, yes, number one, Congress, when they announced the tickets, they claimed that he is not a winning candidate, and that is why he was not given a candidature.
Yeah.
But now suddenly the whole of Congress, they want to give him a minister berth, they've given him a minister berth. But is he a MLC? His MLC is questionable, let me tell you. September 1st, KC Venugopal released a official letter copy from the Congress party to the governor quota announcing him as a candidature. While the fact is, this matter is pending in the Honorable Supreme Court, where governor quota cannot be given to political candidatures, which happened to our BRS candidate called Shravan Dasoju, and that is why the previous candidates Amir Ali Khan and Kodandram were rejected.
Well,
since September 1 to today, this matter is on hold. Within 6 months, will this issue be solved in the Supreme Court is a question mark. But till then, they want to try a tantrum. Let me complete one thing, Rahul. I'll tell you one more final desperation act of CM Revanth Reddy. Warangal and Khammam, two major districts of Telangana, suffered the wrath of floods yesterday. Farmers lost their crop. And you know what was the act of CM Revanth? Yesterday, he flew from Hyderabad to Mumbai to meet actor Salman Khan on the sets of Big Boss.
Okay, that's fine.
For Muslim votes.
So you're saying that there is a attempt at playing to the gallery, specifically playing the Muslim card. Viewers, look, I am not going to take a position on it. I brought out the various contradictions. You've heard all the three voices. One of them is very prominently saying there is obviously resorting to a bit of whataboutery, that others also, of course, hand out these berths to people who they select for the job. So what's the big deal? Well, viewers, I leave it to you to contemplate. Viewers, look at the pictures. India is flexing its Tri-Services military muscle. It has launched a 12-day military exercise on the Pakistan border. It's India's first war game since Operation Sindoor 6 months ago. Trishul will involve special forces, commandos, missile batteries, warships, battle tanks and attack aircraft, including the Rafale and the Sukhoi Su-30, carrying out simulative offensive strikes into southern Pakistan to test the Indian Armed Forces readiness in a post-Sindoor scenario. The exercise, and you can see the spread, the geographic spread of it, viewers. That's the area across the Arabian Sea, and you can see that, look at that huge area. It's, I think, 3 or 4 times the size of the Pakistan, the entire area of Pakistan. And the exercise, as you can see, will take place not just across Rajasthan and Gujarat, but also extend into the Arabian Sea and very close to Karachi. Yes, viewers. And it will be specifically on the Kutch region. That's where the focus will be. Sir Creek. Pakistan has been ramping up its military infrastructure here, constituting a provocation. On paper, the western half of the creek belongs to Pakistan and the eastern to India. Trishul, viewers, is meant to send a clear message to Pakistan that India stands ready to defend its territory and, if necessary, pick up where Operation Sindoor left off in May. The message is not lost on Pakistan. They're a bit rattled. The media is asking questions of their ministers. Listen to this.
देखें, इंडिया की तरफ से अगर कोई इनकर्जन हुई या कोई एग्रेशन हुई तो हमें तो उसका मुनासिब जवाब जो बनता है, जो आगे हमने उनको दिया है, उस किस्म का जवाब हमें देना पड़ेगा. We just cannot let go any provocation जो भी होती है.
There you heard it, viewers. They're trying to talk up their bravado, viewers. Of course, we know what happened to Pakistan. the last time India in some ways made incursions. But let's open this up. Let's get in the experts. General Dhillon needs no introduction, neither does Sushant Sareen. General Dhillon, I want to begin with you. What's exactly going on? First of all, what are we likely to see? What is this war game? Break it down for our viewers, sir.
Good evening, Rahul, and good evening to Mr. Sushant and all your viewers. See, first of all, these are the routine exercises which are planned well in advance to carry out and test our latest techniques, technologies, our strategies, our tactics, our coordinations, communications, and newer weapons. This is to start the discussion. However, now this particular exercise, the setup of this exercise, and just for the benefit of the viewers and you, I was the general officer commanding of an offensive formation in the same region.
Oh.
For a year and a half, so I know exactly what's going on there. I'm not going into any plans or strategies. I'll just give you the overall thing, how it's working out. See, this region, below the Cholistan Desert, below Rahim Yar Khan, going right up to Kutch, is a less populated area. The going is easy. There are less obstacle systems here, the natural obstacles and artificial also, as compared to area above Rahim Yar Khan, which is a lot of canals, a lot of rivers and other things. Here the rivers go very deep inside the Sindh. And secondly, this area is a resource-rich area. And then Islam Court, this Chor, Naya Chor, Mithi, all these areas are the where the mining and other things are going on. Now coming down further south, the area of Kutch, the area of Sar Creek, is always been a bone of contention. And now extended, as our Honorable Defense Minister said, the Karachi ka rasta Sar Creek se nikal ke jata hai. Karachi is just at the doorstep of this map which you're showing. And now to come to this, light brownish portion on the Arabian Sea. Now this is the NOTAM. And NOTAM, for the benefit of your viewers, is notice to airmen. That means all the aircrafts in this area are warned that please don't venture into this area. The military exercise is going on and unintentionally some projectile might hit you. Now this map and this brownish area, if you look at it, it is a very clear indication if we have to carry out a blockade of Karachi, if we have to carry out multi-pronged attack onto Pakistani soil in the southern Pakistan, in the area which I refer to, Hyderabad, Malir Kent, Karachi, Islam Court, Mithi, Chor, Naya Chor, all these areas. And as we all know, air defense is the main thing in today's warfare. And moment you have enemy's attention diverted on more than two directions, his air defense resources will get dissipated. He will have to face our land borders, that is his eastern side towards right, starting with Jaisalmer, going right up to Kutch. He will also have to look at their defense along the Makran coast, starting with Bandar Abbas and going right up to Karachi and beyond. So his air defense assets, as it is, are very less. Few of them got damaged or hit during the Sindoor. So this is a very good technique to attract or distract the enemy's air defense asset. Third, when we have to apply our forces, when the nations go to war, comprehensive national power must be applied. In this scenario, in this particular scenario, the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force can be applied jointly in a very coordinated, very synergized manner against a very limited area of Pakistan, which can be tackled from more than two directions. So all these are the, sort of straightaway glaring things which come out as a military man when the Indian Defense Forces are doing exercise in this area. And see how beautifully we have covered a complete western coast of ours.
Yeah.
Against any misadventure or any nonsense by Pakistan. So I think whosoever has set this exercise, I know the Southern Army Commander very well, General Dheeraj Seth. He was a colleague with me. And of course the Chief. I think it's a beautifully set exercise and it is sending out signals much before even if it has started.
I'll of course ask you how the Pakistanis on their side militarily will look at it, but I want to bring in Sushant Sareen. There's obviously some strategic messaging because these NOTAMs are being issued left, right and center. Over the last 5 or 6 months, there have been some other sorties, this, that, around the border. What is the strategic messaging from New Delhi? What's going on?
Rahul, I think a couple of things are happening. One, we are rattling the cage. And I think we are keeping up the pressure on the Pakistanis because General Dhillon is right. these are kind of routine exercises, but an exercise of this magnitude in such a vast area, I'll defer to General Dhillon, but I would imagine this is a little more than routine. General Dhillon probably also knows that better than me. He's a military guy. I'm a bloody civilian. But my own sense is that, look, there is a certain strategic messaging. You are rattling the cage. You are keeping them under pressure. And you are doing it at a time when their western border is hot. And there is a lot of pressure on their western border. There is a kind of ceasefire out there, but that ceasefire is basically a sort of a face saver for the Pakistanis, that the negotiations with the Taliban are still continuing. They're not going to reach anywhere anyways, but they will continue with this charade for as long as they can, because they don't want that pressure to come or hostilities to break out in a significant way on the western border. So one is the kind of messaging which is going from here, that we can keep you under pressure. And the moment you carry out an exercise of this magnitude, there will be a kind of a mirror deployment from the Pakistani side, lest India pulls some kind of a surprise. Is there going to be a war? I doubt it. I don't think so. I think that doctrinally, India is very clear that there will only be a war if there is a grave provocation from the Pakistani side, or in fact, even a minor provocation can lead to some kind of conflict, some kind of retaliation. Second, I would imagine, and I'll again defer to General Dhillon, I think the Indian armed forces are also, in a sense, testing out the jointness of operations, because we are going in for theater commands, and these kind of exercises are a great opportunity for testing some of those doctrines which are going to become part of the theater commands. And I think this is extremely important, because after Op Sindoor, there were some voices, including of the air chief, who were saying that, maybe we can rethink on this whole jointness, this theater command kind of a thing, which I think will be turning the clock back. I think if the decision has been taken to go ahead with theater commands, then it is important that all the armed forces, get together and work
all
out
the pieces fall into place.
Yeah, because that is the future. That is the way to go forward. And then, of course, as General Dhillon very correctly says, the kind of threats which have come from the Pakistani side, that now next time around we will target your population centers, we will target your economic centers, and a lot of them are based on the western borders or the western shorelines. So I suppose there would be some examination, because if you just look at this brown area, this dark brown area, coming all the way down, it gives you a very clear message as to how, what kind are being anticipated from the Pakistani side. So I would imagine it's a combination of things.
Okay, so let me bring back General Dhillon here. We don't have much time. Obviously, let me also put it on record, viewers, that this map has been put together by an Austin specialist called Damien Simon, at least someone who goes by that name. So, General Saab, how is the Pakistani establishment going to mirror, to use the words of Sushant Sareen, mirror deployment on the other side? And that must be a costly operation for them, because they're not exactly flush with funds.
Rahul, when we say mirror the deployment, it means the number of equipment pieces we have this side, they can have similar pieces on the given frontage. That is one way of looking at it. Their numbers are much less than us in all three services. That is the second aspect. Third is north of Cholistan Desert in Pakistani side and south of Cholistan Desert. Redeployment or adjustments is not very easy. It's very time consuming. They have to go back all the way and then come down into the area of this, which I'm referring to, opposite our Barmer sector. Whereas we from Jaisalmer to Barmer, we can come directly. We don't have to, crisscross over a massive Cholistan desert. That is one thing. So why I'm saying this is because it's important when we talk about mirroring the deployment. And second is the attacker has the choice of place and time to concentrate his forces at the given place where he intends to. And it is very important that defender on the other side or the enemy is made to stretch out mirroring your deployment, and then you concentrate your forces at the place of your own choosing. And those forces can be Army, Navy, Air Force. They need not have to come physically there. Their impact should reach that place of it. And the whole Makran coast the whole border opposite Barmer sector and the Kutch sector and the Creek sector is there for us to concentrate our forces in time and space. They will mirror, and that is an advantage to the attacker, because then they will stretch out their forces and we can take them piecemeal wherever they are, and we will be able to concentrate our forces where we need. And this triangle, or this angle from where the Makran coast turns westwards, it gives tremendous advantage to India, because we have the complete armada in the sea, we have the complete defense for army on the land, and we have air which is omnipresent. And plus, of course, we have the space and cyber and other things, electronic warfare and missiles and all. So I think this is a very beautiful setting. And like Mr. Serene was saying, this is a setting to tell them, okay, next time it's not going to be a single service or a two-service operation. Next time it is going to be a
full service,
all-of-nation approach. And one more point about this particular area, must for your benefit of viewers, the Karachi area is full of Pashtuns. All the elements of TTP are very active in Karachi, and the area opposite Barmer sector, the Islamgarh and Islamkot and all which are referred to, has major Hindu population.
Right.
So these are two additional information points I thought I will share with your viewers.
Oh, wonderful. Fascinating. Again, as always, gentlemen, thank you very much for your insights. Always so full of very interesting perspectives. Viewers, I leave it at this. This is going to be interesting. We'll, of course, follow up on this story in the next few days. Thank you for watching. Right back after this short break. Don't go away.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
तो पिछले साल आज ही के दिन 357 AQI था। 2024 में आज के दिन 357 AQI था, और 2023 में आज के दिन 328 AQI था। और मुझे बताते हुए मेरे अपने सभी ऑफिसर साहिबान का मैं धन्यवाद करता हूं, जो इन्होंने इतनी मेहनत करी, और खास तौर पर पिछले 2 दिन से इतनी बारीकी से कॉरपोरेशन और दिल्ली सरकार एक अच्छी कोऑर्डिनेशन के साथ काम कर रही है। 218 आज AQI हुआ है। हमें उम्मीद है कि आने वाले दिनों में इसको और हम नीचे लेके आएंगे। मैं ये बताना चाहता हूं, इसके अलावा क्योंकि हमें आए हुए अभी 7-8 महीने हुए हैं, हमारे बहुत सारी चीजें अभी प्रोसेस में हैं। हमने दिल्ली के अंदर नए इनोवेशन के माध्यम से बहुत सारी ऐसी चीजों को देखा है जो आने वाले दिनों में पोल्यूशन कम कर पाएंगी। उनके ऊपर IIT दिल्ली के माध्यम से और ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के माध्यम से स्टडी चल रही है। व्हीकलर पोल्यूशन के लिए भी हमने कुछ ऑल्टरनेटिव्स ढूंढे हैं। हमने कहा था, पिछले दिनों में आपको बताया था कि एक इनोवेशन चैलेंज हमारा जो था उसमें 48 एंट्रीज आई है ना, 46 एंट्रीज ऐसी आई हैं जिन्होंने अपने अपने इनोवेशंस बताए हैं, बड़े इनोवेटिव आइडियाज दिए हैं। सरकार 8 महीनों में माननीय रेखा गुप्ता जी की विजनरी थॉट के कारण, उनके रात दिन मेहनत के कारण दिल्ली को तकरीबन 20% नए व्हीकल आने के बावजूद, माफ करना 21% नई कंस्ट्रक्शन होने के बावजूद, 8.5% से 10% नई गाड़ियां आने के बावजूद, इन सभी चुनौतियों के बावजूद कूड़े का ढेर फालतू होने के कारण, क्योंकि पॉपुलेशन बढ़ी है, ये सारी चीजें इंक्रीज होने के बावजूद, और 15 साल और 10 साल की गाड़ियां भी चल रही हैं, और दीपावली भी मनाई गई। इन सब चैलेंजेस के बावजूद पिछले 1 दहाई के 10 सालों के बराबर दिल्ली को बेस्ट AQI एयर क्वालिटी के इंडेक्स की बात करें तो बेस्ट देने में कामयाब हुई है आज की दिल्ली की सरकार। और मैं आपसे आग्रह भी करना चाहता हूं मीडिया के बंधुओं से, जो लोग काम करते हैं बड़ी मेहनत से करते हैं, सेंसेशनल फैलाने के लिए, अपने 4 रीडर्स के दिमाग में अलग सी बात डालने के लिए आपको हमारी मेहनत पे पानी नहीं फेरना चाहिए। मैं आपसे आग्रह करता हूं, आपका योगदान ही हमारा उत्साह को और बढ़ाता है। हमारे अधिकारियों के कर्मचारियों के उत्साह को और बढ़ाता है, तो मैं आपसे आग्रह करना चाहता हूं कि आईने की तरह सच को सामने रखें। बताएं लोगों को, पॉपुलेशन 1 साल में बढ़ने के बावजूद, ट्रैफिक बढ़ने के बावजूद, 10 साल और 15 साल की गाड़ियां लॉ होने के बावजूद, दिल्ली में कंस्ट्रक्शन बढ़ने के बावजूद और दिल्ली के अंदर दीपावली बनाने के बावजूद, दिल्ली की पॉल्यूशन को, दिल्ली को हवा को साफ करने में पिछले सालों के मुताबिक दिल्ली सरकार कामयाब हुई। जैसे मैंने कहा, ये हिस्टोरिकल है, 218 इस बार है, जबकि पिछली बार
Viewers, on Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel's 150th birth anniversary, Prime Minister Modi paid tribute to the Statue of Unity in Gujarat's Ekta Nagar, marking National Unity Day with grand celebrations. Meanwhile, politics seems to be brewing over it. Congress President Kharge launched a sharp attack accusing BJP of distorting history and misappropriating Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel's legacy. Prime Minister Modi talked about how Nehru made blunders giving Kashmir a separate constitution and flag.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
तो पिछले साल आज ही के दिन 357 AQI था। 2024 में आज के दिन 357 AQI था और 2023 में आज के दिन 328 AQI था। और मुझे बताते हुए मेरे अपने सभी ऑफिसर साहिबान का मैं धन्यवाद करता हूं, जो इन्होंने इतनी मेहनत करी और खास तौर पर पिछले 2 दिन से इतनी बारीकी से कॉर्पोरेशन और दिल्ली सरकार एक अच्छी कोऑर्डिनेशन के साथ काम कर रही है। 218 आज AQI हुआ है। हमें उम्मीद है कि आने वाले दिनों में इसको और हम नीचे लेके आएंगे। मैं ये बताना चाहता हूं, इसके अलावा क्योंकि हमें आए हुए अभी 7-8 महीने हुए हैं, हमारे बहुत सारी चीजें अभी प्रोसेस में हैं। हमने दिल्ली के अंदर नए इनोवेशन के माध्यम से बहुत सारी ऐसी चीजों को देखा है जो आने वाले दिनों में पोल्यूशन कम कर पाएंगी। उनके ऊपर IIT दिल्ली के माध्यम से और ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के माध्यम से स्टडी चल रही है। व्हीकलर पोल्यूशन के लिए भी हमने कुछ ऑल्टरनेटिव्स ढूंढे हैं। हमने कहा था, पिछले दिनों में आपको बताया था कि एक इनोवेशन चैलेंज हमारा जो था उसमें 48 एंट्रीज आई है ना, 46 एंट्रीज ऐसी आई हैं जिन्होंने अपने अपने इनोवेशंस बताए हैं, बड़े इनोवेटिव आइडियाज दिए हैं। सरकार 8 महीनों में माननीय रेखा गुप्ता जी की विजनरी थॉट के कारण, उनके रात दिन मेहनत के कारण दिल्ली को तकरीबन 20% नए व्हीकल आने के बावजूद, माफ करना 21% नई कंस्ट्रक्शन होने के बावजूद, 8.5% से 10% नई गाड़ियां आने के बावजूद, इन सभी चुनौतियों के बावजूद कूड़े का ढेर फालतू होने के कारण, क्योंकि पॉपुलेशन बढ़ी है, ये सारी चीजें इंक्रीज होने के बावजूद और 15 साल और 10 साल की गाड़ियां भी चल रही हैं और दीपावली भी मनाई गई। इन सब चैलेंजेस के बावजूद पिछले 1 दहाई के 10 सालों के बराबर दिल्ली को बेस्ट AQI एयर क्वालिटी इंडेक्स की बात करें तो बेस्ट देने में कामयाब हुई है आज की दिल्ली की सरकार। और मैं आपसे आग्रह भी करना चाहता हूं मीडिया के बंधुओं से, जो लोग काम करते हैं बड़ी मेहनत से करते हैं, सेंसेशनल फैलाने के लिए, अपने 4 रीडर्स के दिमाग में अलग सी बात डालने के लिए आपको हमारी मेहनत पे पानी नहीं फेरना चाहिए। मैं आपसे आग्रह करता हूं, आपका योगदान ही हमारा उत्साह को और बढ़ाता है, हमारे अधिकारियों के कर्मचारियों के उत्साह को और बढ़ाता है। तो मैं आपसे आग्रह करना चाहता हूं कि आईने की तरह सच को सामने रखें। बताएं लोगों को, पॉपुलेशन 1 साल में बढ़ने के बावजूद, ट्रैफिक बढ़ने के बावजूद, 10 साल और 15 साल की गाड़ियां लॉ होने के बावजूद, दिल्ली में कंस्ट्रक्शन बढ़ने के बावजूद और दिल्ली के अंदर दीपावली बनाने के बावजूद, दिल्ली की पॉल्यूशन को, दिल्ली को हवा को साफ करने में पिछले सालों के मुताबिक दिल्ली सरकार कामयाब हुई, जैसे मैंने कहा ये हिस्टोरिकल है, 218 इस बार है, जबकि पिछली बार 357 था, 30% मोर, लगभग 33% ज्यादा।
Hello, Namaskar. This is First Post and you're watching Vantage with me, Palki Sharma. Nowadays, every bit of India-US news seems to be bad news. It's either some criticism from Donald Trump or him claiming that he ended the India-Pakistan conflict. But amid these tensions, we have some good news today. India and the US have signed a 10-year defense pact. How will it impact this military relationship? And does it signal an end to the trade tensions? That's what we'll discuss. Also on the show, Xi Jinping takes center stage in South Korea as Trump misses the Asia-Pacific Summit. NVIDIA's boss shares a beer